Having made the cut, we've moved north to near Solvang, California, and a 34-mile road loop that includes winding 2 lanes, a little bit of freeway, and an off-road loop. Here the judges will drive each contender, focusing on the criteria as they use the vehicles in real-world conditions. With the drive loops over, we'll sit down to debate, discuss, and decide the 2011 Motor Trend Sport Utility of the Year.
We'll start with the Nissan Duke, which is a fascinating little vehicle. I mean, it's quite ironic to me that arguably the most fun small vehicle Nissan builds is called a sport utility vehicle. Where's the fun to drive Sentra and all those good things? They don't exist anymore.
There's almost no utility to the car. It's truly just a fun, I mean, it's more like a Via-Cross, I suppose.
This is an example of what? Of something we wrestle with increasingly every year, in that the sport utility vehicle is morphing into something else.
Styling. How can you avoid it? I mean, it's such a polarizing car. I think it's ugly, an intensely ugly automobile. I would have a hard time promoting this sort of...
It's not to be encouraged.
Anywhere. No, it should not be encouraged.
I think, interestingly enough, this one, there are 2 key criteria that it struggles against. One is advancement in design, and you could argue that perhaps Nissan's trying a little too hard with this one. And the other one is performance of intended function. What is its intended function? We'll move it along. Next on the list, the Hyundai Tucson. I was kind of expecting a bit more from these. I mean, at many levels, they're quite a sort of the generic small sport utility vehicle. It's about what you'd expect. I wasn't super impressed with any of the powertrains, and I thought the steering was just awful.
With Hyundai improving so quickly, I thought the refinement, the road noise, and the engine sound quality, the quality of the engine, the smoothness, they haven't quite reached their potential there yet.
I noticed what you're saying. I wasn't as disturbed by those things.
I really like what they did with their interiors. I think that's one of the biggest things that they've
Ergonomically inviting, nice looking.
by far probably the most comfortable seats I can think of that they make right now. I mean,
it has a lot to offer as far as the looks inside, that style. That's not something you get as much in this price range.
And not just the looks, but the touch points. They put the money where you put your hand, so that it feels like you're not touching hard plastic. You had some, nice padding.
The Kia, for me, makes a fantastic first impression. I mean,
I thought the Sportage was the worst off-road by a lot. It was just all over the place and just couldn't do anything.
I drove it up from Los Angeles on the freeway, and I was chasing it on the freeway the whole time. And part of the reason is those tyres tend to follow every contour on the road, because the steering has got this inconsistent weighting as you pull it off center.
I don't understand that idea. Why would you put something out right away and know you're going to have to correct it, as opposed to just waiting a little bit, getting some of this stuff fixed, and then putting it on sale?
For the style they nailed.
Oh,
I mean, it's the best looking small crossover out there.
Brand-wise, I mean, it's a premium look at a lower-priced car maker.
Most of the people who are going to buy these vehicles are not enthusiast drivers. They're not that interested in it. They like something that looks sporty, but they don't want to be beat up by it. Moving into our larger sport utility vehicles, and Ford Edge. Interior is massive improvement. Not entirely sure about the exterior, but that big chromy grille, it sort of looks like they're trying to put a Super Duty onto an urban sport utility. I'm not sure that works.
I think it's very handsome.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think it's a very nice, modern-looking crossover, one that made me remember that the Edge existed.
To be fair, obviously a lot of you find Sync to be a pretty good system. To me, it reminds me of when you call to complain or cancel or buy something, and you have to go through all these automated prompts.
I guess what we're saying is that not all of it's intuitive. I agree. To switch the traction control off, for example,
I think 4 screens.
You've got to go through 4 screens to get there.
Oh, good for them for finally giving us a way to control the transmission gears.
Yeah.
They've really tried. The cars look more expensive than they really are. I know we do extreme testing, but that's the whole point, that that braking performance on the Sport is just not good enough. Okay, the Porsche Cayenne. I found this thing great to drive. It's just so good at what it does, and it doesn't matter whether you're on the road or, surprisingly, off the road. It's very capable.
This is the first one that feels like it's a Porsche.
It did everything well. The freeway ride, unbelievably smooth. The twisties, flat, like other people have said, it felt like a Porsche. And then off-road, just as competent as the Jeep.
And the 8-speed automatic transmission is terrific. This one, every panel's different, and it's all different for the better.
Every model got more efficient. And then you throw in the hybrid, which is new.
You know, we've got a 400 horsepower V8, you know, vehicle weighing 4,800 pounds. It's getting 22 miles per gallon on the highway. So it's almost like a cake and eat it car.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. You can get started under 50. You can get, buy a decent SUV. You can get a manual if you want. And you go up to 150. You get turbo with ceramic brakes, and you can track it all day.
Moving right along, Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now this is a hugely significant vehicle for Chrysler, and also a very interesting one. It's the offspring of the ill-fated takeover by Daimler.
It's funny, we got a new Jeep using a lot of Mercedes parts. That is basically the coming out party for Fiat Chrysler.
I think before it seemed overpriced. Like you weren't really getting a lot for your money there, and now with the quality improvements, there is an actual level of luxury as opposed to just them saying there's a level of luxury.
I think the V6 had the best ride out here. It really soaked up, bumps nice, it was quiet.
We have to say too, this is an all-new V6, and I wanted it to be better, but I think it was, again, probably for the intended buyer, good, pretty decent.
Okay, well, interestingly enough, the Infiniti QX56 at nearly 6,000 pounds, easily the heaviest vehicle here, and 0 to 60 is 6.1, one of the fastest.
And even though it's the same displacement as the last QX, it's a new engine.
And it's the best sounding V8 here. Beats the Porsche hands down, beats the Overland, which oddly enough sounds like a diesel to me.
It's big, it's heavy, it's fast, it uses way too much fuel, but it does all those very well.
QXs have always been very ugly, so this just continues the tradition of being a very bad-looking truck.
It's just less ugly now.
The body roll is, for something that big and that relatively soft, really good.
It's amazing that 6,000 pounds can go through a corner.
They've taught an elephant to tap dance, basically, but not crudely. That's the thing, the integration of all the vehicle systems on that. Yeah, it was just nicely done. The transmission is seamless. Okay, well that's all our 7 contenders. So comes to crunch time. This is the time when we've had the discussion, we've had the debate, now we've got to decide. So I'll hand out the voting slips. You know the drill, although Johnny, give us your 1, 2, 3. And it's secret ballot, and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, we have a result. It's going to be very interesting too.